You know who's not the guy yet in New York?
We need like a little graphic, like days, just waiting on Rodgers.
Days without Aaron.
Like days without Aaron.
My face is frozen like this right now.
Something,
Do not adjust your television screen.
You know who's not the guy yet in New York? Aaron Rodgers.
Hey.
There. Where Aaron might be up the coast here, getting rained on in Malibu.
I'd say it's a
Doing his
good
workouts. Going through his workouts.
I bet you he is up there.
I don't know. Could be in New York already looking at real estate, knowing that he's going to wind up there. He could be looking in New Jersey for real estate, knowing he could wind up there.
Come on, Rich.
Because it's the New York metropolitan area. You know? It's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. Mark Murphy is the president of the Green Bay Packers. And if you read the deep dives on Rodgers and the latest deep dive, I think you sent it to me, right, Chris? Sent it around the group text chain in the Ringer? Mm-hmm. Or you tweeted it out or something like that?
It out.
Okay, I read that thanks to your tweeting it out.
Really good story.
All right, doing deep dives on Aaron Rodgers and where things turned and what's going on in his head. And you peg the Rodgers turn in Green Bay to Ted Thompson being the general manager one day and the guy who brought Rodgers in and sent Favre to the Jets and then started building around Rodgers, and then no longer it's Ted's gig, it's Brian Gutekunst's gig, and we all know how that's turned out. Well, I mean, they drafted Jordan Love, and then Rodgers did come up with 2 MVP seasons. But at any rate, long story short, Rodgers is not yet a Jet, and Mark Murphy and the Gutekunst-led Packers are finally on the verge of turning to Jordan Love, as Rodgers saw coming too. We've seen it all coming. Rodgers is going to be a Jet. The Packers can't keep him. Jets need him. Rodgers wants out. We call it a win for everybody to get this deal done, but it's not done yet. Nuh-uh. Mark Murphy spoke at what's this called? A tech conference? A Wisconsin Tech Summit.
Oh, I like that.
In Lambeau Field.
Good fantasy name.
Who knew there was such a thing? Hey, there's tech in all 50 states. Why not Wisconsin? You're one of the 50 states.
Everything sounds better when you call it a summit.
Tech. You know what? This is a Rich Eisen Show Tech Summit. You know why? Because we're streaming on a lot of tech.
That's what I'm saying.
You're listening to us on a lot of tech. So we have now reached the portion of the Rich Eisen Show Tech Summit.
See how much better that sounds?
To play a soundbite for you through your tech of Mark Murphy talking into some piece of tech. Well, technically a trade that we know is going to happen. Hasn't happened yet. Roll it.
Obviously, we have the draft coming up. You're in free agency. It might be.
Yeah, and we've got no other news really going on. Just. No, we are. I would love to tell you everything you want to know about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but I've under sworn secrecy not to say anything.
I like Mark Murphy a lot. I do. I've met him many different times. I've had, nice chit chats with him. Nice guy. You know what the Jets should do? The Jets should drag this. They should drag it out. They should drag it out.
They should.
Yes,
Why?
they should. Drag it out past the draft. Drag it out past the draft. That's what they should do. Because they should use the draft choices.
Yeah, because the Packers couldn't get any choices to help Jordan Love.
Yeah. No. You just suddenly, okay. Use the draft choices. We'll use them. Because we know eventually you're going to give them to us because you're not keeping them. Oh, September 1st. That's a long day. Can they actually go all the way through training camp and all that business? Nobody wants to do that. So the Jets should drag it out past the draft. Do me a favor, Chris.
What do you got, Rich?
You were talking about the newest mock draft.
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah.
My man, Daniel Jeremiah.
Of course.
A.K.A. Move the Sticks.
Yeah, buddy.
I will be sitting with him on the draft set.
Mock draft 3.0.
Ah, it's his third one.
Oh.
Tell me who he's had. Who does he have the Jets drafting 13th overall?
Rich.
That everybody in New York thinks willy-nilly. Let's just flip that first-round pick to Green Bay. Go for it.
13th overall.
Yeah, who are the
New
Jets?
York
Who does he have Jets
select
drafting?
Edge rusher from Georgia, Nolan Smith.
Yeah, let's just flip Nolan Smith. The opportunity to take the fastest defensive end I've seen at the Combine, and a delightful human who called into the show to talk about his life and his journey.
Daniel called him the most explosive edge rusher in the draft.
Why do the Jets need him? They desperately need Rodgers. You get my point? And here's the interesting thing is that we are all assuming it's Gutekunst holding up the Jets and the Jets holding up the Packers, that they haven't agreed to that. Why do I have a sneaky suspicion that that's all been hammered out and this is a financial situation at stake? Why do I have this feeling? I don't know. My spidey sense is going off there too. When Rodgers says doing right by him, what does that mean? Doing right by him to let him go now, and the draft compensation that's coming back from the Jets to Green Bay, is that doing right by Aaron? Don't gut the Jets of the ammunition to reload it with youth? Like that's what his concern is? He wants more young guys on the team all of a sudden? Is that what it is? Why is Rodgers talking about doing right by him? There's a lot going on here. And we don't know what's going on. As Rodgers likes to point out, we don't know.
Rich Eisen or whatever his name is.
But all I'm saying is nobody's going to come into the Rich Eisen Show Tech Summit and tell me to give up a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers right now when it could be Nolan Smith of Georgia. That the Jets can get another young Turk to come in with Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall and the rest of those young kids and sit around and say nobody believes in the Jets. Let's get somebody who said everybody thought Georgia was only going to win 6 football games on their way to rampaging the rest of college football.
That was silly.
Let's get that guy. Oh, no. You know what? Desperately need Aaron Rodgers so much. Just let's give up that opportunity. Unless it's all about money. And we don't know. But one thing we do know, Aaron Rodgers not yet the man in New York.
Yeah.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.